And after that, bishop to g4 by Arjun, pinning this knight. But guys, let me go back. After the move bishop to f1, here black can also consider capturing this pawn on d4. This is because after knight takes d4, since this bishop is under attack, so now black can either bring this bishop back or he can also go for d5, trying to attack the central e4 pawn. And if knight takes e6, f takes e6. Bishop to e3, asking for bishop exchange. Bishop takes e3, rook takes e3, queen to b6, attacking this b2 pawn. And if takes, knight takes d5, attacking this rook. And after this rooks go back to e2, knight at d goes to f4, targeting this rook again, rook to d2, and finally knight to e5. And now look at these two powerful knights in the center. I mean, they are crazy. And this queen is also targeting this king. And in the next move, black will bring this his rook into to d8, and you can see black is doing great. Okay, so in the actual game, after bishop to g4, here Aronian goes for and now it's better to push h3 so that he can target this bishop. But instead, here Levon goes for bishop to e2, which is also fine, unpinning this queen. And guys, in this position here black can go for this move, which most of you will not understand at first time, which is knight to h4. But what's the point? I mean, what is this knight on h4 is doing? At first glance, nothing looks special. But guys, this move is the first step of the attack. Let's suppose if this game continues like f3, which looks logical, covering these important key squares, but now comes rook at a goes to e8, creating some pressure over this bishop. And yes, this queen is already defending this bishop, but black will not take white will not take any risk, so he can go for bishop to d3, which is also eyeing towards this h7 square. But after that, knight to h7, preparing for knight to g5. So to stop this, if white goes for f4, that will be a mistake because of knight to f6. Preparing for knight to g4 so that he can target this. And if h3, suppose if he tries to stop this, bishop to b8. And now I think you all can see the attack. Okay, so let's suppose if white now goes for bishop to d2, trying to exchange the rooks. But instead of exchanging the rooks, black can go for g5, creating more pressure over this f4 pawn. And if rook takes e8. Instead of capturing with the rook, we will capture with the knight, so that we can include this rook into the attack. And after, suppose if rook to f1, if he tries to guard this, simply g takes f4, attacking this knight, so knight to h5, but simply f3. Okay, if bishop takes h6, f2 check, rook takes f2, rook takes f2, king takes f2, but now comes queen to f7 check, targeting this and this. And let's suppose if he goes for knight to f4, simply bishop takes f4, bishop takes f4, queen takes f4 check, and you can see this is all over for white. But in the actual game, after the move bishop to e2, here Arjun goes for and you can see that this game is moving closer towards the variation which I showed. Okay, so now as I said, the move f4 will be a mistake, so that's why here Levon goes for bishop to b1. His idea is simple. He wants to go for queen to d3 so that he can target this knight. But Arjun goes according to his plan. He goes for knight to g5, and clearly you can see he wants to sack his knight so that he can go for this fork. So to stop this, queen to c2, preparing to target the h7 square if this knight leaves the defense. But guys, now you might be shocked that in this position, the best move for black is to actually, however, goes for this sacrifice, which is knight takes f3 check. Because after g takes f3, it's not knight to f3, because then white will instantly go for queen to h7 check, and he can tackle the whole situation. Basically, the best move here for black is to capture this pawn by rook takes f3. And basically, that's a very good move, because firstly, this move counters this queen to h7 check, which is leaving this f8 square for this king, as well as targeting, defending this complete f file. And secondly, you can see, let's suppose if queen to h7 check, king to f7, and due to this knight and this rook, you can see there is no more further checks. And let's suppose if bishop to f5, if he tries to attack our queen, simply knight takes f5, knight takes f5, queen takes f5, queen takes f5 check, rook takes f5, and you can see this is all over for white. Okay, so in the actual game, after the move queen to c2, Arjun obviously missed that variation and he goes for g6, which is a mistake, obviously blocking. Yeah, so basically he wants to block this h7 square so that this queen can't enter. And after that, king to h1. Okay, so after this position, queen to f7 by Arjun, again preparing for this knight sacrifice. Let's suppose if white is not careful, and if he goes for any move like a4, now comes knight takes f3 check, knight takes f3. If g takes f3, queen takes f3 check, king to g1, rook takes e3, and you can see that this is all over for white. Okay, so after queen to f7, that's why he goes for queen to f2, which is the best move guarding this f3 pawn. And now for white, it's better to just bring these rook into the game like rook to e2 so that he can keep an eye on this second rank. But instead here Levon blunders by queen to f1, and that's a blunder because in this position here black can sacrifice his bishop by bishop takes h2. But why? This is because after king takes h2, now comes this another crazy sacrifice, rook takes e3. This is because if rook takes e3, queen to f4 check, and after king to h1, queen takes e3, and now look at these amazing pawns of black and this crazy knight, and you can see in the next move simply black will go for rook to f4 with the idea of rook to h4 check, and yeah, that's all. But after queen to f1, Arjun also missed that move and he goes for. And now it's better to bring this queen to d3, but instead he goes for a3. And the problem with that move is now Arjun pushed his pawn to h5, preparing for h4 and then h3. So to stop this, here Levon brings his queen to f2. But after that, simply queen to f4, he wants to push this pawn however to h4, and everything was quite fine till here. But in this position, Levon blunders by rook to e1, and that's a blunder because yes, he's asking for rook exchange, but now comes this crazy move by Arjun. And guys, really this move is so crazy. Basically he goes for knight to h3, and in this position Levon Aronian resigned. This is because let's suppose if g takes h3, simply rook takes e1, and if queen takes e1, queen takes f3 will be checkmate. So let me go back to the move, yeah, which is rook to e1. Instead of this move, the move by which white can hold this position for some time is not moving this rook anywhere, because as you can see, this rook is guarding this important first rank so that black pieces can't enter. So that's why he can go for any move like bishop to c2, which is guarding this rook. And let's suppose if game continues like h4, and obviously now he can't sack because you can see because of this. So let's suppose, yeah, after h4, rook to f1, h3, if he goes for this, simply g3, locking the position, and as well as targeting this queen. So that's why queen to f6. And you can see black is still better, but this game can be holdable for white if black do any single mistake. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.